Let's look at running back specifics, what we're looking for in them. First, ball security, then their blocking ability, then size, quickness, catching ability, route running, leverage, grit, their ability to fill the hole, their ability to break tackles, endurance, and how nasty they are on the field. That's what I'm looking for each of these running backs. I went in, I rated about 25 running backs, looking at what's going on with them, where they land, and where we can put them. Is this the end-all be-all list? Probably. But with that, know that you guys can move up the list and down the list. Starting point going into the season, because this year is for you. So let's start with running back number 27. I'm talking about Jud Netto. Jud Netto, 5'7", 145 pounds, out of Milford. Jud is a productive scat back that has a ton of heart. He does a great job on both sides of the ball as well. He's a dude that should have a great senior year. How he's going to shoot up this list is with additional size and speed, and that's what's going to get him to the next level. I really like Jud. So at number 26, we've got Dace Obagi, 5'9", 180 pounds, coming out of Uinta. Dace is a phenomenal scat back. Uinta does a great job finding ways to get the ball in his hands. He was super productive and will continue to dominate this next year. He is a stud. On to number 25, Travis Hoops, 5'9", 170 pounds, coming out of Farmington. He is a great special teams returner. Probably the best in the state, to be honest with you, going into this next year. Incredible change of pace back that has good hands, great drive, and heart. He's a kid that's going to make any team better, so college coaches look out for him. At number 24, we've got Logan Cella, 5'11", 200 pounds, coming out of Roy. Logan is a two-way player that is a solid short yardage back. He's going to get bigger, and with that, he's going to get some offers. He has great effort, great speed, good speed. He's a playmaker that makes Roy just a better school. You don't want to go against this guy and meet him in the hole. At number 23, we've got Dyson Parker. Dyson is 5'9", 170 pounds, coming out of Weber. I finally got his film. Dyson is deceptively fast, ripping off some very long runs. He has good vision, does a great job following his blocks. He can split into slot, and it shows his versatility and his strength. He has soft hands and is quick with the ball. He is an athlete that should dominate this next year as well. At number 22, we've got Will Rasmussen, one of the only running backs with a P4 offer on this list. Just 5'11", 173, the class of 2027. So he's a young gun. He did get some varsity reps last year, and he played very well. He needs to keep getting bigger, but as a sophomore, he's going to dominate. I love that he's a multi-sport athlete. His basketball film is very good, and it shows an explosive first step that translates right into football. He's a kid that already has D1 offers, like I said, but he needs to keep up his production and get a little bit more productive with the ball in his hands. He only had about 200 yards, so that's kind of a knock on him, but it's hard to find more knocks on him because he's gotten bigger, he's gotten faster, and that's the reason he garnered a University of Utah offer at the end of the day. At number 21, we've got Owen Talbot out of Davis, 5'10", 175 pounds. Owen has good size. I watched him live a few times. I like what I saw. He is a great change of pace back at the next level and works perfectly in what Davis is trying to do. Tons of heart, and I think he'll be explosive his senior year. Davis has a great passing attack with Bodie Sparrow, with their quarterback, with everything that's going on. But when you get Owen in there, it's just fun to see what he does. Let's go to Ridgeline for our next running back, Jackson Lindsay, 5'6", 155 pounds, 2025. Change of pace back that has good speed and hands. He's a kid that's tough as nails, and he's going to get you the tough yards. He's splitting the backfield with another running back, and they're returning their two-headed beast this next year. At number 19, we've got Zaden Salu. I was interested because a lot of coaches reached out to me, and they're like, we really like Zaden Salu. And I'm like, you didn't get a ton of reps last year. And they're like, we know. We're scared that he's going to get more this next year. Zaden was solid as a change of pace back, and he's a great receiving option. He's going to be a focal point on the offense this next year because they did lose their leading back and their quarterback. Behind the offensive line, I mean, he's going to go for easily 1,000 yards, if not a lot more, because that O-line is no joke at Skyridge, led by one of my favorite coaches in the state. At number 18, we've got Jaden Atkinson out of Grantsville. So Jaden is a farm-strong young man and then some. He has the ability to turn a no gain into big play. He has good hands, and he's a good route runner as well. He dominates against better competition. As he dominates against better competition, he's going to shoot up the boards. Just a fun kid to watch. At number 17, we've got Tyson Ferry, 5'8", 185 pounds, coming out of Stansbury. Well-built back with good vision. He gets to the second level with ease. He's got good hands. He's a great safety valve. And as he goes into the next season, he's going to turn the first downs that he was getting into touchdowns. We just need to see a few more explosive plays from him. At number 16, let's go back up north to Ridgeline. Jt White, 5'10", 180 pounds. JT is the part of the 1-2 punch, and JT is a baller. Little bigger than Jackson, and he brings the thunder to the lightning. Great speed, good vision. He plays better when the stage is bigger. He has good hands and is quick in small spaces. The first guy never takes him down, and he keeps building and getting better and better and better. Just a fun kid to watch, to be honest with you. And I'm excited to see what he does this next year. Let's get to number 15. Number 15 is Trevor Halo out of Leighton Christian Academy. I love running backs that run behind their pads. He has vision. He allows blocks to develop, and Trevor does all that in a bag of chips. He isn't playing the best competition, but he raises the playing of those around him. He is a stud, and I was amazed at what he did last year, and this year should be even better. At number 14, we've got Lotte Soteele, 6 foot, 200 pounds, coming out of Hunter. Lotte was a highlight for Hunter last year. He will be a monster this year. Great vision. He's quick between the tackles. He's a dude that will impose his will on linebackers. He has good, not great speed. His senior year, he's going to be special, and he's going to be higher at the end of the season. And I'm excited to see what Lotte does. We'll see exactly where he's playing and what he's doing as well. So at 13, we've got Bronson Dixon. Bronson Dixon, 6 foot, 190 pounds, coming out of Summit Academy. Some of these lower level running backs are phenomenal. He's one of the state's hidden gems coming out of Bluffdale. 1,300 yards and 19 touchdowns, very solid. He has good vision and a nice burst. He does a good job in pass pro and is receiving threat in the pass game. He doesn't have the speed to thrive outside of the tackles, and I want to see him against top competition, but he's a dude that should get 2,000 yards this next year, and he's going to make a college coach very happy at the end of the day. At number 12, we've got Kaden Close to the chest vest. 5'9", 190 pounds, coming out of Spanish Fork. Spanish Fork has a great O-line this next year, and Kaden is a load. He's a cannonball exploding into the line. He's quick, has good vision, one cut and up back, getting as many yards as possible on every opportunity. He doesn't have the breakaway speed that you look for, but every other part of his game is there. As he gets faster, more coaches will be coming down to Spanish Fork, not just for a tackle, but for a running back as well. At number 11, I've got Mason Hartel, 6'1", 210 pounds, out of Brighton. Are you looking for a big bruiser behind an O-line that almost everyone is returning in a program that's yearning for a title? I have to hear about Brighton all the time. My brother-in-law went there. Then I have the back for you. Mason is a big back, good speed, and mainly he was blocking last year in a pass-heavy offense. Their quarterback, he was going to Georgetown, but last year is not this year. He's light on his feet and has a nose for the end zone and enough speed to make you think twice about the angle you're taking. I predict this year his first downs will turn into touchdowns, and Satara might be taking his team to the turf at the end of the year. At number 10, we've got Dexton Havea, 5'11", 180 pounds, coming out of Mountain View. Dexton was the most productive sophomore last year. For sure, one of the top running backs in the state. He was a highlight reel for Mountain View. He has the speed to get to the edge and solid vision as well. He is a great receiving threat. I can't wait to see what he does this next year. At number 9, we've got Teki Finau at Bingham, 6'1", 220 pounds. Woo, that's a big boy. Bingham just got a Harvey Longy-esque running back, and I think Bingham might be back with him in the backfield. He has good speed, can throw the ball well. He was playing running back at Kearns, or quarterback at Kearns. His speed is great, and he has put on a ton of weight this offseason as well. So stoked to watch him this next year is an understatement. I'll be at a few Bingham games. At number 8, we've got Nacio Okukolu. Sorry about that. Coming out of East, we can't have a running back list without East. As long as Brandon Mattich is there, there will be a running back on this list. There's 2 things I know, ladies and gentlemen. I know that the sun will come up tomorrow because my niece is an Annie and she has let me know. And the second thing I know on this earth is that East will have an incredible running back. Nacio has had incredible speed, vision. He's great at returning kicks. He has the speed to end up in the end zone before you blink. He was phenomenal as a junior and even split out and played slot. You're like, oh, what's East doing here? They're going in shotgun and he's in slot and he is tough. I can't wait to see how he's utilized this next year and what goes down. At number 7, let's go down south. We've got a state champ. We're talking about McCord Christian, 5'10", 190 pounds. And this is how competitive this list is. McCord, 19 touchdowns, 1,500 total yards is redonkulous. The state champ was good as a junior. I can't wait to see what he does as a senior because he was doing this with a pass-heavy O, and he will be the focal point of this offense, and he's going to dominate. He may be the smartest player on the field as well. Every Ivy League I've found your running back, go get him because he is an absolute stud. At number 6, we're going to go to Desert Hills. We're going to go see a Mason because we need to get everything done. I'm talking about Titan Mason, 5'10", 200 pounds, little bit bigger than McCord, but just as productive, if not more. He had over 2,000 yards. My goodness, honestly, Titan was that. He was a Titan among men at Desert Hills. He dominated. He was the leading running back for his class. He did everything. He had over 20 touchdowns. He was an absolute dog. When you look at the film, you're like, oh my goodness, Desert Hills is a special place with a special young man playing running back. I can't wait to see what Titan does this next year and how he's going to be utilized. He is an absolute stud. He is going to get some great things done. Let's get to the top 5. Honestly, the top 7, top 8, I'm just like, these are all absolute dudes. And I talked to a plethora of different people. Some of them said, hey, can you move 7 to 1? Can you move 6 to 2? Can you move 5 to 3? And I'm like, I don't know. I put all these guys through my algorithm, and at the end of the day, the algorithm knows best. And this is where they ended up. Will it be where they're at the end of the season? I don't know. Am I going to get some hateful messages? Probably. Am I okay with it? Absolutely. Let's freaking go with number 5. We've got a new Timpview running back, Chevas Gregory. He played in Hawaii. He played at Granger. He played at Cedar Valley last year. Now he's at Timpview. He's been just about everywhere. The 5'10", 195-pound young man, elite at protecting the ball with 1 fumble on the season. He has been to a few schools already and was a highlight for Cedar Valley this last year. He is great between the tackles, able to rip off long runs, no problem. He has good vision and finds the open hole quickly. He fights for every yard. His balance is elite. Timpview got a steal with this dude, and I can't wait to see what he does last year. He already has an offer to Army. I expect Air Force, Navy, and all of the other schools to hop in real quick with Chevas. At number 4, we've got a surprise running back, 6'2", 225 pounds. That's no surprise. Coming out of American Leadership Academy, we're talking about Canon Huntsman. And you put on the film, you're like, hey, Moose, you can't have someone from ALA this high. I beg to differ. He has the size, and he was insanely productive with 24 total touchdowns, focal point of the whole team last year, and I expect him to dominate those numbers this next year. He's a kid that could play either side of the ball at the next level, has incredible size, and isn't even done growing. Don't sell him short because he's at a lower level. This is a kid that could dominate from Corner Canyon to Bishop Gorman. He's a freaking cheat code. His breakaway speed and soft hands is a beautiful thing, and he's a kid that looks like he's just having fun out there. He can return kicks, and he looks like he's in fast motion when everyone is in slow motion. He's a kid that's a D1 kid that some school is going to be stoked to get. Is he going to have a little bit tougher time getting into the D1? Yes, but he has the size, he has the speed, he has everything you look for, whether you want him to play on the offensive side of the ball or the defensive side of the ball. At number 3, this is where it gets a little controversial. I've seen other lists that have this kid at 1. I've seen other lists that have this kid at 5. I've got him at 3. It is Devon Eka, 5'11", 182 pounds, coming out of Lehigh. Lehigh has reloaded this year, rebuilt, and ready to go. The phenom freshman didn't see much of a sophomore slump at all. He's like a fine wine, and this year, he's just going to get better. His burst is special. He had incredible speed, and he's growing into his body. He has incredible room for growth, great hands, and he's forcing a pass-happy offense and a pass-happy coach to run the ball. This kid is special, and teams will start offering soon. What he did last year was special. What our number 2 running back did was outright phenomenal. Coming from another team that's pass-happy, I'm talking about Brighton Brady, kind of a futuristic running back at this point. In previous years, he may not be this high, but he really is the most explosive running back in the state, probably the fastest on this list. Corner Canyon is known as a passing team, but Brighton's speed and elusiveness is changing Care's mind one carry at the time. He's like Houdini. Here he is, there he isn't. At first he's in the backfield, and then ta-da, he's in the end zone. He just scored again. The semifinals last year, he had 7 touchdowns he scored on the ground and in the air. If he's in the open field, you're not catching him. I'm just letting you know right now. All you guys that think you run a 4.4, you don't. This kid does, though. He can go between the tackles as well. He can block you, and that's what stood out to me in his game, his blocking ability. Or if you think he's going to block you, he may just shuffle out into the flats, take a screen, and next thing you know, ta-da, he is in the end zone. So our modern-day Houdini is the dream 10 personnel running back. His size is the only thing holding him back from being the number 1 kid, but I love this kid's game, and as he gets bigger, he's going to shoot up the list as well. That means we only have one person left. This person, I was not quite a believer, to be honest with you guys. I went and saw him at the Granger game, and I was like, Granger's going to win. They've got all this D1 talent. And I'm like, I do like Fekitoa Satawala, but I don't see a 2-to-the-1-2 punch going on with Fekitoa. And then all of a sudden, this running back out of nowhere, wearing shoes, multiple sizes too big, came onto the field, and I'm like, is that Siaki Fekitoa? Do I have to learn his name? Do I have to memorize it? Yes, I do, because the 5'8", 190-pound running back is a complete back, and I cannot wait to see what he does this next year, because he is going to absolutely dominate. Honestly, like I said, I became a fan of him. You go watch the film and you tell me he's not the best player on the field. With D1 talent everywhere and All-Americans, he's the one that stand out. His breakaway speed is ridiculous. When he got shoes that fit him in the playoffs, he was even that more special. It's like getting Bo Jackson type stories following him at this point because he is that talented. Throughout the whole season, he ran scout team instead of going with the ones because he wanted to challenge every single practice. He's a kid that is just built tough. He's like a Ford. He is just built Siaki Fekitoa tough. And when you line up against this kid, you better be ready for a long night and bring your big boy pads because it is going to be a game. Last year, the scary thing is he was a sophomore. This 26 class is good, and this kid was as productive as you can be, and they utilized his talents, and I thought he was the best player in the field, even in the state championship game with Fekitoa Satawala, who I freaking love. You saw a different kid. Those two led Bountiful to the state championship game because I didn't have them going to the state title game. You didn't have them going to the state title game, but they did that and more, and they brought some pride back to north of Salt Lake to little old Bountiful, even though they did fall short. When you have this running back, Siaki Fekitoa, in the backfield, it will change everything for you. So that's our list right now, and that's what's great because it can change. There's going to be things that happen, And there's some kids that I'm going to move to different positions, to be honest with you, that I'm like, you know what, this kid's not a running back, and I'm going to have him here. I'm going to have him there. But if right before the season, I'm going to have a makeup episode, and there's going to be some kids that weren't here at running back that will be. There were kids that I looked for film that I couldn't find. So some of the kids that I looked for film at running back that I couldn't find, we've got guys like Tate Allred, Oliver Collins, Fernando Cortez, AJ Danmore, Roman Funk, Britton Jepson, David Keel out of Payson, Connor Kessler. We've got Easton Kiorma, Taniel Latai, Kaya Medzu, and Britton Roser, Yuma Tai. Guys like that where I'm like, okay, I know these guys are good. I want to find film on them. So those are guys that I'll be looking at that hopefully we get a little makeup episode and I'll look for their film and all that. So you guys make sure you nominate the running backs, whatever position we have that week. We'll go over them. And what you guys got to realize is I'm connected to a lot of college coaches. So when I put these lists out, they take note of it. They look at it. They watch your film. They look at your personality. They look at what you're doing on social media, everything, so that we can go over it. I really wanted to go and let's do this. I'm going to throw a running back on here that's been there, done that, so you guys can understand what it takes, because I know what it takes as a kicker. I know what it takes as a punter and a snapper. I've even recruited those guys. I've got All-Americans. I've done it and then some. But what does it take for running back? Let's get someone on the line that can tell you that right now.